Rebekah said, far from the riches of the earth shall be your dwelling place. Far from the dew falls from heaven. You shall live by the sword, and you shall serve your brother. But ultimately you will win your freedom and shake his yoke from your neck. So this is the war of the Edomites and the Israelites. That goes on for a long time. And under David, I think they have control of the Edomites. But later on, they get freed from them. And Esau hated Jacob because of this. And after his father dies, he's going to kill him, he says. This is like Cain and Abel. And Jacob is upset. Look, he said, your brother Esau is angry. He's going to take revenge, 43. You better go and stay with the relatives over in Iraq. And Rebekah said to Isaac, 46, I don't want him taking children from these daughters of Heth here. Let him go back to my family. So Isaac sends him back, and he's going back 28 to Padam Aram. And El Shaddai is to be with him, line 28:3. And Isaac sent Jacob away to Padam Aram, to Laban, the Aramean, and brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau, line 5. Now Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and had sent him to Padam Aram. So he then went out and took a child from Ishmael's descendants. So Esau and Ishmael are interrelated. They're really the Arab tribes, in effect, in this area. The Arabs don't know anything about Esau, but Esau and Ishmael are, to some extent, interrelated. This is the Esau genealogy, line 9. So he goes back to Haran. On his way back, he passes another place where he sees, line 12, a ladder reaching up to heaven and angels going up and down the ladder. This is a shrine story. What's this shrine again now? This is a shrine called, Bethel again. We already met Bethel when Abraham was coming down into the country, and he founded the shrine there at Bethel. And ultimately, Bethel is going to be the home of the Temple of the North. That's why it's called Beth, house, Beit El, house of God. So this is another story where the angels went up and down to heaven. And now Jacob gets a blessing here, and I think this is a shrine story of Bethel again. This is the house of God, line 17. And that's the gate of heaven. So he names the place Bethel, even though he's already had it named previously. In any event, also promises to pay a 10th part of all that he has. That's the tithe that even many Christian groups pay to this day to the shrine of Bethel. So he gets to here. I'll try to finish up, not too late today, but he gets to Haran 29. Where's the meeting? At the well. Where was the previous meeting of Rebekah and the servant? At the well. This time, where will Moses meet his wife? At the well. These guys all meet their wives at the well. Look who's coming. Does Nahor live here, line 6? Yes, look, here comes his daughter Rachel with sheep. She comes along, and Jacob saw Rachel, and these guys, by the way, marry their first cousins, don't they? I mean, that's his first cousin. And, Middle Easterners still do this today quite a bit. Jews don't, but Middle Easterners do. And he watered the sheep of his uncle Laban. And he kissed Rachel, and she burst into tears. This is not something you normally do at the well. And she ran to tell his father. And they received him, and he stayed a month. And look, Laban says to Jacob, I'm going to pay you for the work you do. I'm not going to let you work for nothing. And now Laban had two daughters, line 16, Leah and the younger Rachel. I don't know if this is the same storyline as the other or not. But look at how, again, this is Yahweh's. There was no sparkle in Leah's eyes, but Rachel was shaking at view. So they always just chick-chack tells you what the issue is. So they make an agreement. I'll work 7 years for Rachel. But what happened? The time flies by because he loves her so much, it's like a day. But what is Laban's tricky, isn't he? What's he do? He slips Leah into his bed. And see, these are always sexual stories. But they're really charming sexual stories, aren't they? I mean, people are really attractive. And these men, as usual, they're not able to tell the difference between one woman and another, obviously. Once it gets down to sex, then I guess you women know how men are, so I'm not going to comment further on that. But anyway, it's a pretty dim view of man, sexual activity, I think. But anyway, he was quite angry at that, because when he wakes up in the morning, he sees he's got Leah. And so he says, what's this you've done? Line 25. I work for Rachel. You tricked me. It's not our custom to give the younger before the elder. Do the week of marriage, line 27, and I'll give you the other 2, and you'll have to work another 7 years. So we don't have monogamy here yet. And he did it. So he slept with Rachel also, and he loved Rachel more than that. And he worked another 7 years. Yahweh, anyway, here in 31, so it looks Yahweh. She always saw that Leah was neglected, so he opened her womb to compensate her. And so she's the one who starts bearing children, not Rachel. And Rachel's barren. Again, the issue of barrenness and God opening womb. And she gave, so we're going to get the birth of 12 children here. The 12 tribes of Israel. We've had quite a few other stories. And so we're going to get the names. What's the first one? Reuben. Ben means son in Hebrew. Reu means see. See, God gave me a son. Look, God gave me a son. Reuben. I have, see, there's a son. Next one. Simeon. Again, that Shema, hearing, like in Ishmael, but with a son instead of a should, but still it's based on hearing. We always heard that I was neglected. Simeon. Third son. This time he's united to me. Levi means to be joined to. That's why the Levitical